Welcome on in. You're watching the San Francisco 49ers Report. My name is Schwesinger. As always, no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. It might be the deadest stretch of the NFL offseason, but the coverage never stops right here on the 49ers Report. And coming up on the show, should Niner fans be worried that second-round pick defensive tackle Alfred Collins has not been signed yet by the San Francisco 49ers with less than 3 weeks to go until training camp? And this is actually a macro league-wide issue all across the National Football League, as only 2 second-round picks have signed their contracts. Jayden Higgins, wide receiver out of Iowa State, and Carson Schweisinger, the linebacker out of UCLA by the Cleveland Browns. Really like that selection for Houston, taking Higgins, big size, runs really well, physical, a willing run blocker. Houston has some concerns around Tank Dell, but you pair Higgins alongside Nico Collins. That gives you physicality and a lot of ability at that wide receiver spot for C.J. Stroud. And then Schwesinger, really good linebacker out of UCLA, who's very instinctual, very athletic, little bit lighter, but as a modern-day linebacker, you need to be able to cover tight ends, running backs, wide receivers, and we saw that he had an interception in rookie minicamp that was pretty impressive. He just plays the game in a way where you see the football IQ on display, has a really good feel, and at that linebacker spot, to be able to read and diagnose plays, that's what you need to be able to do. And that's what he was able to do in rookie minicamp when he had that pick 6 off Dillon Gabriel, who Cleveland took in the 3rd round, and as we know, they turned around and took Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round. Anyway, we don't have to talk about the dysfunctional Browns any longer. Let's talk about the Niners, one of the preeminent organizations in football. Niners training camp does not start until July 22nd, but Niners rookies will report a week earlier on July 15th. Niners are going to be relying on this rookie class this year. Mykel Williams, Alfred Collins, C.J. West, Nick Martin, Upton Stout. Those are 5 rookie defenders who could play big roles, perhaps even start for Robert Saleh in 2025. And so I'm not worried right now as I record this show on July 2nd about this Alfred Collins contract, but the closer that we get to rookies having to report, the more concerned I will be if Alfred Collins doesn't sign this deal. He didn't do anything throughout the offseason. Rookie minicamp. Did not participate. OTAs. Was on hand, but on the sideline. During mandatory minicamp, he did not practice because he's been dealing with a calf injury. And so he's already behind the 8 ball as far as not getting any reps. He's been rehabbing this calf injury that he re-aggravated. He's 6'5", 330 pounds, and he hasn't gotten this contract signed. And the Niners are going to be relying on him at that defensive tackle spot this year. Now, Adam Schefter with this note recently that heading into the weekend and less than a month from training camp, only 2 of the NFL's 32 second-round picks have signed. These deals have stalled over whether or not contracts will be fully guaranteed. For Higgins, for Schwesinger, their contracts were guaranteed. So those contracts got done. They also got selected pretty early in the second round. And that's what's become the sticking point with the situation in the National Football League right now. It's for second-round picks, them and the agent. They want to negotiate getting guaranteed money. And agents have really pushed for this in their clients getting fully guaranteed contracts, just like first-round picks get guaranteed contracts. Regardless of where you were selected in the first round of the NFL draft, you get a 4-year, fully guaranteed contract. You could flame out. You could be an absolute bust. But for that 4-year rookie contract, you get fully guaranteed money. And so agents, understanding the importance and the value, and in a 7-round draft, how impressive it is to get drafted in the second round, they want the same luxury that first-round picks get, getting fully guaranteed money. Now, of course, when you get drafted in the second round, the money is not the same. So it's not like they're getting greedy, in my opinion, but they just want those fully guaranteed contracts. This is also an issue because this guaranteed money gets paid out very early. And so if you have a former second-round pick who plays 2 years, for instance, but then gets hurt, the team can cut that player and they're not on the hook for a dead cap charge. The team can cut that player and there is no financial penalty. And so the rookies don't get the entirety of that rookie contract. They just get what was guaranteed within that contract. And so until we get really close to training camp, I'm not overly concerned. But the fact that Alfred Collins hasn't practiced yet, he's dealing with an injury, you can't afford a camp holdout. I want him getting up to speed ASAP, considering the important role that he's going to play for San Francisco in 2025. I don't think this is a Shamar Stewart type of situation with the Cincinnati Bengals that has become hostile and contentious, but Alfred Collins has been in good spirits, by the way, but you got to get this deal done to get Collins participating in training camp right from the jump, day one. I don't want to see a holdout happening for your second-round pick. Plus, it's not like you have to forfeit that much money, and the Niners have the second most cap space in the entire National Football League. As for the expectations for Alfred Collins going into year one in his Niners career, if San Francisco loved their situation at defensive tackle with Jordan Elliott, Kevin Givens, Kalia Davis, Evan Anderson, they probably wouldn't have drafted Alfred Collins, but they knew they needed some young talent there. They needed some depth, and they needed to bulk up that position. I completely agree. Now, Jordan Elliott, Kevin Givens, we know what those players are now and who they are. Veterans who are backups at this point. Jordan Elliott, pretty good against the run. Kevin Givens, more of a slider player who can get after the quarterback to a certain degree. I really like Evan Anderson as a rotational player. The UDFA from last year really started to flash and make some plays. I spoke to a coach who has been coaching him up this offseason, and he said he's very explosive and twitchy for his size. Kalia Davis, former late-round pick out of UCF, he's barely been available because he's been hurt so much. So the Niners needed to take Alfred Collins, and they needed to draft a defensive tackle. They doubled up. They went Alfred Collins and CJ West. Again, it goes to show you they thought they had a need at that defensive tackle spot, and they had needs at the defensive tackle position. That's why they drafted two players. Alfred Collins is a player who, when the team gets off the bus with Mykel Williams and Alfred Collins, you're going to be like, wow, those are NFL-type bodies, right? Especially for Collins. Arm length, wingspan, weight, height, all in the 90th percentile or better. And the 49ers throughout the NFL draft clearly had an emphasis, clearly had a plan. They came to an agreement as an organization that they needed to address their run defense. And Alfred Collins is going to help you do that. Mykel Williams is as well. CJ West, good against the run. So too is Upton Stout and Nick Martin. Alfred Collins specifically, an immovable object. He is a massive person. Really good feet for his size. And while at Texas, when he was playing alongside some NFL-worthy and NFL-drafted defensive tackles, sometimes he's the one who really popped out throughout his career. I also really like the consistency that he plays with. He's a sure-handed tackler. He had an elite tackle-to-missed tackle ratio last year, 55 tackles to only 2 missed tackles. Has a really great motor, a lot of durability. He was a 5-year player at Texas who played in 64 of 65 games. He also has this innate ability to break up passes and come through with pass breakups at the line. He had 7 passes defended last year at that defensive tackle spot. So quick feet, has some burst. He's also, again, 6'5", massive arms, massive arm length. This calf issue that's lingering, you do worry about that. You know, we saw Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard, Tyrese Halliburton at the NBA level, all smaller bodies dealing with calf injuries, which then led to Achilles issues. With Christian McCaffrey last year, he had the bilateral Achilles tendonitis, but the year before that, remember he missed the regular season finale when he won Offensive Player of the Year because of a calf issue. When you're 6'5", 330, sometimes that soft tissue injury with that calf, when you're putting a lot of weight on that leg, it can linger a little bit. And if it does linger, that's a little bit of a concern. So get him healthy, get this deal done. On a scale of 0 to 10, how concerned am I right now? At about a 4. But again, the closer that we get to training camp, the more I'll start to hit that panic button because it's important to get him on the field, to get acclimated, because the Niners will need him in 2025. They are a better defense with Alfred Collins on the field. Plus, he used a second-round pick on him. All right, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Going to continue to churn out the best content right here on YouTube, talking about the Niners every single day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Peace.